If you're struggling to forgive someone, something, some situation, something from the past, something about someone else, or something that's going on in the world, or something within you where you feel you cannot forgive yourself, then this video will help you in understanding forgiveness. Because I know you've heard that forgiveness is healthy, forgiveness is good, forgiveness helps us to heal, it helps us to move on. And yet, even though so many of you are really, really working hard on forgiveness, maybe through therapy, maybe through counseling, maybe with different processes that you use, maybe even in spiritual work, and maybe you get there at different points to different degrees, but there is still something within you that has not yet fully forgiven, fully released. And you notice this when a triggering event or a triggering situation or statement comes up, or maybe that person that you feel you have the forgiveness issue with comes into your life again, or brings up some old stuff. Or even if you feel like you cannot forgive yourself for something you did or did not do, something you said or did not say. So this kind of remains hidden and stored within us. And I know a lot of you have done a lot of work already around forgiveness, but a lot of you also, in the sessions that we have, voice and express that they still have not reached full forgiveness yet. And this is why forgiveness, like forgiving really, really difficult things to forgive in our perception, can be such a huge topic and task. But I'm going to, with this video now, I'm going to share with you why it does not have to be this big thing, and how you can shift your inner state of being towards actually moving into forgiveness. And by that, I mean lasting forgiveness, once and for all. You do this and it's sorted, and it won't come up again 3 years later in some situation that you did not expect. It will be sorted once and for all. And the first aspect to this is that you cannot rationally approach forgiveness, because whatever happened, let's say it's in relation to another person and you feel that other person has wronged you in whatever way, right? Mistreated you in some way. So rationally, you know, okay, I should forgive, but you also feel like this is unforgivable. What they did was not right. And I still feel the injustice, the pain, the meanness, everything that comes with that. So this is still there. And whenever it comes up, I still feel it. And the rational approach would be, your mind would become conflicted, because in a rational way, there are always these reasons why it is absolutely, it would be a strange idea to forgive, because it's unforgivable, because it's not okay, And your mind would try to tell you that by forgiving, you're almost saying, or you are saying, it's okay, I forgive, it wasn't that bad. But this is not the case. The case is, it was what it was, and it made you feel the way it made you feel, and it had the impact that it had. And oftentimes the unforgivable things that we struggle with, the most painful things, are things that impacted us for years, are things that can really, that imprint energetic traces in us that people still have to deal with, like years later, decades later. And this is what you might be struggling with now as well, where you say, I've forgiven most of the stuff in my life, but whenever this comes up, or whenever it comes up about me, I cannot forgive myself for maybe making this decision, or for behaving that way, for whatever it is. So rationally, we cannot get there. We cannot move into forgiveness. And in therapeutic work, or any other type of work that is designed to help us to come into forgiveness, there are boundaries as well, because oftentimes it's a process where, yes, emotions are involved, but also the analytical mind comes in also, trying to put everything into the right place. And then we come to a point of, well, yeah, we reach forgiveness, but maybe just temporarily. The true forgiveness state is something we need to understand, and not as a goal. The forgiving is not the goal. It is the process. It is the path to achieving something else. And this is what I want you to look at now. You know that if you hold a grudge against someone, if you hold hatred in your heart, revenge, any type of tightness in relation to someone or something, you know that this is holding you back, and you know it minimizes your energy, and you know it's unhealthy, and it ties you to that person or event. It still keeps you stuck in that old energy of whatever happened, and whenever it comes up, you relive it emotionally, or even subconsciously. When it doesn't come up, it's still lingering there. And so then we try to forgive as this goal so we can free ourselves from it. But forgiveness is actually just the path to what you truly deserve and where you truly want to arrive. And that is your state of empowerment again, your state of inner peace again, which you deserve, which is you, which are qualities of you. You are deserving of being empowered, standing in your own true power and love and joy and freedom and full expression and inner peace, because that's what's missing when we can't forgive, right? So if forgiveness is a path, then we can look at forgiveness in a different way. It has nothing got to do with the other person all of a sudden anymore, or even with the topic within us that we feel we can't forgive. These are kind of just the stepping stones to what we really want to get at. And it's the same with being tied to other people, events, energies, where we feel at some stage there will have to be a balance. There will have to be kind of everything will have to be brought into balance and justice again if there has been injustice, which is a judgment of the human. But if there have been energies, dynamics, which have been unequal at some stage in the universe, because this is how the universe works, there will have to be the equalization of it. So if the energy has flown in one direction, it will have to come back into the other direction. That's what we call karma. That's the cosmic law of cause and effect. And so whenever we can't forgive, and this is what the Law of One teaches, this is what the Course in Miracle teaches, whenever we cannot or seem to not be able to forgive, we keep ourselves tied to that energy, to that topic, to that person, and we will have to at some stage come back and deal with it and bring it into balance in whatever way. So the only way, the path out of these ties and out of these karmic patterns is forgiveness. And we even hear Jesus say that at the cross, when he forgave those who were laughing at him, who were hurting him, who were condemning him. He forgave them, and he asked God to forgive them. And the statement was very clear: for they know not what they do. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. What was he really saying? He was saying they were only able, or are only able, to do this because they don't know who they are. They don't know what they are doing. They are unconscious. And so the whole topic of forgiveness is tied to the topic of consciousness and unconsciousness. And we can actually move into forgiveness through the process of becoming conscious. If you know you're an eternal soul, and this is only one little step, this lifetime, one little point in your eternity, then you also know that whatever happens here is for our growth, is for our evolution. We can use it or not, but we cannot use it if we're not conscious of it, and if we do not consciously choose to use it. So we could look at, for example, the issues and topics of forgiveness, where we need to forgive, as our teachers, where we can learn and practice to remember who we are. We're source energy, we're consciousness. Relate that to our avatar, to our role that we're playing here. And whatever happened, for example, also the issue that we can't forgive or have not been able to forgive yet. So we see this as the play and as the teaching situation. So there was a situation, it had this impact on me. It made me believe certain things about myself or about the world. It impacted me, often in very negative ways, for many, many years. And then you realize, okay, this is what happens in this story here right now. And when I say story, or when I say illusion of this three-dimensional world, I don't mean not real. Yes, it's real what happened or what happens. Real in this realm, but there is a different realm. There is a higher perspective. And in this higher perspective, this reality here is like an illusion. It's just the play, it's just the classroom, it's just the lesson. It's just the playing field where we get to experiment and experience our divinity, our source origin, in playing with duality, in moving through polarity. And so when we move into that level of consciousness, we can also see whatever happened to us could only happen because that person or those people, or even myself, if there's something within me that I can't forgive, I was unconscious at that time. Because if I had been conscious of my true self, I would not have done that, I would not have said that, or I would have done that, or like I would have chosen I would have made a better choice. And so the same goes for other people that I feel I can't forgive, or that I struggle with. I really want to, but I struggle with. They were only able to act in that way, to hurt me that way, because they were not conscious. They did not know what they were doing. They were stuck in their identification with their human self and with those limitations that personality has, that human has. The filters, the programming, the conditionings, the limitations, the beliefs, the traits, the character traits, they were stuck in this. And this is the only way that they could do this to me in that case, right? So once I see this, and I'm also able to see that I am so much more, then I can approach forgiveness from a different perspective. And then I also can realize that the forgiveness itself, once it's done, it's not about I have achieved forgiveness. Yes, that's wonderful. But what you really will harvest, what your reward will be inner peace, peace of mind, peace of heart, a lightness that you have not felt before, standing in your own power again, no longer dealing with the feelings that made you small, that made you hurt over and over again when you thought of that person or what happened. So it's a release of stuckness, of stuck energy, and in that the power, your own authentic power of your true self can emerge again, can come up again. And this is what people describe who are able to move into that forgiveness. Now there is a lot more to say to this, and I cannot cover it all in this video. I'm happy to work with you on this. I have already received wonderful emails and feedback from so many of you. I'm going to love you and leave you for today. And we'll talk again next time, if you want to.